Okay, so we are recording. And today I just got thinking about how close it is to Christmas. Oh my gosh, it's not that as far, it's not as far away as we would think if you're trying to make a project for Christmas. And maybe this hasn't crossed your mind, but I want to potentially plant a seed where you could create something inexpensive. Some of these gifts you can just share digitally. You could share a video that doesn't cost you a dime except for your time. And I don't know if you're a fan of love languages, but if there's someone in your life whose love language is an act of service, then giving of your time and giving them something that you made personally may have more meaning. Sometimes someone who is a gift person may want something that you lovingly put time and energy into. If someone is a words person, then giving them a gift of story or of words may be a wonderful way to celebrate your love for them, your family, your memories, without spending money. Because let's face it, those of us who live in the United States of America or any other affluent country, we do not need more stuff. We don't. So let's try to give things that are more meaningful. Let's make memories instead of spending a lot of money. So these are some ideas of how you may be able to share something with your own family. And I got thinking about what I actually gave my brothers last year for Christmas. And it was this cute little book right here. I think it's cute. Babes in the Wood. I made it on Shutterfly, and I'm going to actually go in and show you the layouts and show you how I made it. But this idea came about, well, first of all, it was totally self-serving because I needed an example that I could show students because I'd done a bunch of client projects, but I can't just show those to you. I can't show the interior of those to you because they're private. They were for people's families and they're not public. I can show you the covers. I have examples I can show you, but I wanted something I could show that I had made that was for my family. So I involved my daughter and made a video about it. But then later I was like, hey, wait a minute, I made this thing. I could give it to my brothers for Christmas. So I ordered a bunch of copies and delivered them as, like instead of a plate of cookies or something, I gave them this cute little book and they loved it. Partly because we all have this memory of sitting in my grandma's lap and she had this little rocking chair and it would go squeak, squeak, squeak as she rocked us. And we'd be like 3 years old was the perfect age for this. And we would say, Grandma, sing Babes in the Wood. And so she would let us sit in her lap. Maybe there would be two of us, one on each side. And she would sing this song. And inevitably, the big alligator tears would start rolling down our cheeks because it's the saddest song ever. But it didn't stop us from wanting her to sing it. So we have these fond memories. And then my brothers were able to have this book and read it to their own grandchildren now or sing it to their grandchildren. My brothers all have beautiful voices. I did not inherit their gift of song, sadly, but they could sing it to their grandchildren. So I gave it to my brothers and it was great. And you could do the same. I just made it on Shutterfly. I'm not necessarily advocating Shutterfly other than that I've used it and it works and it's easy. I know there are other scrapbooking programs out there like Walgreens. There's some really fancy, amazing scrapbook programs. I just don't happen to be a person that has mad skills. I have like basic skills. So you will notice that my designs keep a very clean layout. I have to keep it simple or else it just looks dumb. But I'm going to show you a couple of other types of projects before I show you how I actually made my Babes in the Wood project. This was one I've talked about before. This was a life story of my client, David Young. He's given me full permission to share this. This one was printed on Blurb, BLURB. I will put that in the chat as well. I have mentioned Blurb before. One of the great things about Blurb is that they have software called Bookright, BOOKWRIGHT. Bookright is free to download, and it's for making layouts. And this is great because you really don't want to make these projects in Word. You can, but it's a big fat pain. I've said that before. I was talking to one of my professional students yesterday who's doing big genealogy projects and he's making them in Word. And we were just commiserating on what a pain photos are in Word. It's just, it'll make you crazy. So you can do it, but again, it's not my favorite thing. So Blurb Bookright, you can make the layout in Blurb. I don't know if they have templates or not, but then you can export the layout You can pay, I think it used to be like $9 for your file if you wanted to export it to a different printer, but it's free if you want to export it to Blurb. So, but you need some kind of software, and you probably don't want to use InDesign. Its learning curve is steep and not great. So, but anyway, if you want to do like your life story, Blurb is an option. They also do big, beautiful coffee table books or cookbooks. They've got all kinds of options for printing pretty books in hardcover and softcover. This is a 6x9. This is what's called a trade paperback size, although this is a hardback. Here is another type of book that I make, and this is a photo book of some of our camping adventures with my family or my daughter, or it's a book that I'll make of each year of her life. Now, I have a confession to make. As I have indicated, I'm not a big scrapbooker. I used to get together with friends and they would scrapbook these beautiful things, and mine would look a little bit like a 9-year-old made it. So I had fun with my girlfriend, but I just don't have the gift, guys. So if you do, I bless you. We need more of you in the world. But I admit that on one of these, they have a service that you can pay. I can't remember what it was, but it's not very much to have one of their professionals just put it together. So they've got people that probably freelance, and you upload your pictures and you pay them the money and they lay it out. And so that's what I did. I was like, I am so busy. I do not have time. I uploaded the pictures. I said, you pick it. I don't even care. Just put it together and let me hit print. And that's pretty much what I did on one of these. And did my daughter know or care? No, she did not know or care that I didn't lovingly make every page. So there are shortcuts here. You can pay someone else to lay this out for you. And then you have total control. You go in and you can pick the pictures you want or don't want. You can change the captions. You can edit it from there. But sometimes having someone else give you a start is not a bad idea. But part of the reason I share these personal books, I mean, obviously it's common. This is not a new idea to make a photo book, right? That's what they do of your vacation or your year. But let me tell you one reason why it matters. Other than that it's fun to look at memories, there is research about vacations being called something is called a happiness anchor. Happiness anchors, ANCHOR. I should have thought to look up an article on this. INESSANCHORS. Happiness anchors. And the idea being that there's a lot of mundane stuff in life, right? One of my girlfriends was giving her teenage daughter the pep talk. Not everything is excitement all the time. Don't worry that you have to do everything all at once. When you look back at our lives or whatever, you're only getting the highlight reel. Real life is full of a lot of boring, mundane stuff that never makes it onto social media, and it will never make it into the photo book. Let's get used to that idea, right? When we compare our lives to others. I have a cat climbing at my chair behind me. It may make an appearance here. Anyway, so life can be boring and we only highlight the highlight reel, but vacations are the highlight reel. And there are these moments that bring us together when we're usually at our best. And they're the moments we remember. They're the spice in life that mix things up. And we can do more to cement the memories and the good stuff by being intentional about it. And one way that we can be there's the kitty. Her name is Cuddles, and she's a wild one. One time she climbed the wall behind my head during a video. So there you go. Working from home, hashtag. So, but the point is, if you're intentional about it, you can make a book that cements the memories. My daughter remembers the pictures that I chose for the book. And all the other memories fade later, but she remembers the ones that are in the book. And so that's a way that you can anchor happiness. So I'm a fan of making the photo books. I don't do them all the time and I don't go crazy, but I do make them on special occasions. Here's another book that we did for a client. This one is called Avalanche. It was one that we were hired to do. Someone that we know in the community went on a ski trip with his buddies, and they were in a massive avalanche, and all 12 of them were caught up in it. And it was a happy ending for everyone. I'll tell you that right now. None of them died, but they came really close to dying. And moments when you almost die are incredibly life-changing and traumatic. There was some stuff to work through for sure, some trauma, like PTSD almost afterward. But his wife hired Rachel to get the history, because along with the trauma, there were miracles. and they wanted to record those miracles while they were still fresh. So she interviewed some of the people that were there and then wrote this story. I forget exactly how long the word count is, probably a few thousand words. But then they didn't commission us to put it in a book, but we do like to give something more than people pay us to do. We like to make it beautiful. And so we laid it out into this photo book and printed a couple of copies for them so that they could have a nice hardback book. And we just did this in Shutterfly. I mean, not super complicated. And these books are a little expensive per book. I mean, we probably spend $25 to $35 for each one of these full color hardback books, but you only have to buy one, right? You don't have to buy 20 or 100 or 1,000. Another type of photo book you can make that I did as a series for a client. This was so cute. We put together a series of ancestor stories for her grandchildren. And we picked several ancestors and we did these over time, but we wrote them in storybook format. So it would read like a children's story, but it would have the moments of faith and the things that expressed her values in these stories. And one of the things that was really neat that she did, this was a little bit time consuming, but we made a unique book for each one of her grandchildren. She didn't have a lot, so it was fine. She had like 3 grandchildren, but we put the child's picture in the front of the book with their name on it, so that when they opened up this book, they got to see their face the very first thing. And so that as they realized these are my ancestors and this is my face, it helped make it more personal and more real. And I thought that was a really neat idea that she had. I thought she was brilliant for suggesting it. So like I said, it was a little more work because we had to duplicate each project and put the name in it. And then beware, if you duplicate the project too soon, then you'll have to go back and make the edits. If you find a typo or an edit, you'll have to make them in every one of the versions. So don't duplicate it until you're completely done. You're sure you're done, and then you won't be done anyway, and you'll still have to go back and make a correction. Mark my words. Always happens, but don't do it too soon. So anyway, that was pretty fun. We made several of them for different ancestors, all in the same format. She called it Angels Over Me, and then she gave each one a different name. And then this one was same client, but it was more of a grown-up story. One of their ancestors was a very prominent man who helped co-found the ABC News Network and a bunch of stuff. He was very well-known and brilliant and worked in presidents' cabinets. And so we put together his life story and some of the really interesting things about his life into a longer book, not super long though. I mean, so we had some pictures that we pulled along with about that much text per page. So you can kind of see. So it was enough to really give a story. And it's funny because this is a very prominent ancestor and you would think that everybody knows the stories. They don't. Especially not the younger generation, even the people in their 20s and 30s who've been tuning you out all these years. They don't care until they care. So the point is, you get it down. She gave these for Christmas. It was a big hit. I think she gave a few of them out, like to each of her siblings. And then the siblings' families were free to buy more copies for their own families if they wanted, or people could buy them themselves. So she didn't have to spend $25 a book for a family of 80 people or something, if you have a big extended family. So those are just some examples to get you thinking. And of course, I love the idea of making a video because you can do that without spending any money at all. You can have a free account to Adobe Spark or Animoto, and you can put a little video together honoring someone that you love. In fact, with each of these books, we made a video as well, because even though she gave the books to the people on Christmas, to her grandchildren, she was able to share the video with extended family. And that's shared in a different format and captures people's imagination in a different way. So it was pretty neat to do all of that on each of these stories and to do it as a series. So I hope that maybe gets you thinking of some ideas that you might be able to do for your own families. And now I'm going to share screen and show you how I actually made it. The first thing I want to show you is, I may have talked about this in previous tutorials, but this is the New York Public Library, and this is their digital collections. So I put this link in the chat, digitalcollections.nypl.org. The New York Public Library is one of those wonderful repositories of source material for your books and videos. And what I love about some of these collections is that there's so much in the public domain. And especially if you're doing a story of times that were pre-photography, you're going to need some images for your videos or for these books. How on earth are you going to get videos when you might only have one photo of the entire family or something? How do you illustrate this story? So in this one right here, we pulled up images. Well, I won't take the time to show you, but the bottom line is if it's Victorian era or whenever, you can find digitized books in these libraries where the illustrations are in the public domain, and you can search for illustrations of things that might illustrate your story and be true to the time period and have the right kind of feel that you can use in your books or videos. And of course, there are many other wonderful sources of images. I use Unsplash a lot, Unsplash. I didn't put that in the chat. I may be able to put that later. There's Pixabay, I forget how you spell that. And of course, like archive.org, lots of different sources and repositories. But I'm zeroing in on the New York Public Library because they specifically digitize books, and these books have images. And on a lark, I thought, I wonder, because I knew that Babes in the Wood is a folk song, and I wondered, is there anything in the library on Babes in the Wood? So first thing you do is you come to the main homepage here, click on search only in the public domain. That way you don't find things that are copyrighted, especially if you're in the 20th century. The more recent you get, the more likely that the images will be copyrighted. So then you click on search only in the public domain and then type in Babes in the Wood. And oh my gosh, look at this. There are these illustrations already here for my little book that I wanted to make. Holy cow. So, and they're in the public domain. They're old. All you have to do is download them. You can order art prints if you want, but these are free. All download options, high res, TIFF format, 760. Anyway, so you download. I enhanced the colors, made them a little more vibrant for my book. Here's some of the other images. I found the lyrics. I found multiple versions of this story. So fun. You get the idea. So this is one of the ways that I found the images for this. And then we hop on over to Shutterfly. Oh, my editing session has ended. Let's reopen the project. Okay, so you create an account in Shutterfly, you log in, you can go to projects. So on your homepage, you'll have projects, but we're already here in the project. And so I want to show you a few things about this. So first of all, your first step is to upload all of the images you find. That's always the first step in one of these projects, is to gather your images first. It's the thing that will take you the longest amount of time, and you kind of want to have them all together if you can. So that's where you can either upload by clicking add photos here, or you can just drag and drop them into the page here. The next step is to select a layout. Well, the next step actually, before I'm in a project that's already created, but you have to find a layout that you like. So that's the great thing. It's why I like something like Shutterfly, is we have templates that someone that knows how to design stuff has already designed. That's where I want to start. Give me something to work with, and then I can make it better from there. Not better, but I can customize it to my own liking. So I picked a format. I pick ones generally that have kind of clean backgrounds. I don't pick a lot of busy, flourishy stuff, but you go crazy if that's your thing. So then you pick a layout. So you can choose one that's like one image here, or this is a duplicate, by the way. I can change. I saved my original project before I came in and messed around, but you can change it any way you want. Let's say we want a bunch of pictures on the page. Let's say we want 2 pictures on the front page. Let's say we want, so anyway, you get the idea. I want a collage of a whole bunch of pictures. Then you pick your backgrounds. So let's go back to, let's say I want this. Great, that looks awesome. Let's choose a nice background. Do I want a watercolor? I could do a watercolor here, here, here. Just trying to do the spine. It's apparently a different thing. Anyway, or let's say I want houndstooth. I like houndstooth. That looks good. So you get the idea here. Pick a background. Then you can go, oh, that looks horrible. Let's go back to this. I can't look at that. Okay, so we have a background picked. Now you can choose some embellishments. So this right here, I have a frame, but I don't want that to be my frame. I want it to be a circle. Or I want a circle on, oh, hey, I can delete that probably. There we go. That's gone. All right, let's say I want a circle on the back here for some reason. Or I want it to say the end. Or I want it to say, oh, here's a frame. Here's a frame you can put a picture in, delete. I want it to say family. That's cute. Anyway, you get the idea. So you can pick the flourishes they've already created. And then you go to additional pages. So that's my cover. Isn't it pretty? No, it's not, but you get the idea. So then you put in the text. So now I want to put in the text for my, for what it says. Oh, don't you remember a long time ago? Yes, I do. So you can change the fonts. You can change, do you want it to be left justified, centered? What color do you want it to be? Oh, I want it to be brown. I want it to be a different font. I want to go cute. I want it to go. So change your font, change the size. Okay, that's too big. Let's go back to, anyway, you get the idea. Then we go to the next one, choose the backgrounds, choose the images, drop it in, move these around. These are little flourishes right here that I added. I want some chestnut there. Okay, now you don't need to see me tinker, but you get the idea. Easy, right? And then you export it, you buy it, you watch for the sales on Shutterfly because they always have sales. So if you want to get free shipping, wait till they have a free shipping one. Or okay, and one of the reasons I'm telling you now is that usually some of the best sales of the year are around Black Friday time. So if you have your project working now, I would watch some of the sales around Black Friday and order when they have the best deals on free shipping and when they're trying to get your business. But don't wait any longer than Black Friday because the printers right now, all of the printers are really backed up and slow. So Shutterfly is probably doing a little better because they really operate in volume. But I know any other printers right now are just, they've been doing a lot of projects and some of the supplies are not available and the price will go up on shipping. If you wait till the last minute, you'll pay an arm and a leg on shipping to get it here in time. So think ahead to get it done. Be ready to hit the upload button and the purchase button on Black Friday when the best deals come along.